ride for the Houston Astros, Rockets, Dynamo, and them Tex.
Would you look at that? Would
We're
you
not
look
matching.
at that? We're not matching today. Thank God. Welcome back, everybody. It's us, Rios and Papi,
The way it
back
should
again
be.
with the Just Fans podcast, another edition of it. We've been out for what is it, 2 weeks now?
Something like that.
But a lot has happened. Houston sports. Obviously, we had the Final Four and the ending of March Madness. U of H, a heartbreak in the end, but the guys gave it them their all. We'll talk about it a little bit more in a little bit. Obviously, baseball season is underway, as you can see.
Is it really?
Yeah, and it wouldn't be a baseball season in Houston without a lot of ups and downs. Mostly downs lately, but
Yeah, mostly downs.
as we're live right now, we're watching the Astros St. Louis game, and the less we talk about it, the better.
There's a baseball game on. We'll pretend it didn't happen.
Yeah, and then obviously the Rockets clinching the second seed, going to the playoffs as a solidified second seed. Excited, man! Excited to be here in Houston. But as always, with my co-host Rios. How's it been, Rios? Talk to me.
Is there a more abusive relationship than being a Houston fan? A Houston sports fan? Like, that's got to be the most abusive relationship. And I'm the expert in abusive relationships.
I wish we could at least win one every now and again, Never watch Astros first month of the season. You know what? That might be the a good call on that.
I think if you value your mental health, you just take a break from baseball until August, September, somewhere in that time frame.
The fact that we start so poorly, and
poorly is a understatement.
and the AL and the NL players of the week were both former Astros and Alex Bregman and Kyle Tucker was like
that was going to be my
pouring salt in the wound, man. It's way too soon.
That would have been my 13th reason.
That almost was. To me, that almost was. We're in the double digits now. So, and the way both of those guys been playing, man, it's another one of those things, man. I know, and I see a lot.
That's why I drink so much.
I see a lot about this on Twitter, dude. It's just, I understand that this core of players that the Astros have had, like the dynasty, right? Because that's what they are, have had for the last 10 years, basically, if you want to call it that, right? Like some of these guys were here from 2016 onwards. I know that at the end of the day, you can't keep them all. You can't pay all of them, right? Correa, Springer,
at least keep one. Just
Garrett Cole. Like, the thing is that we keep none of them. Altuve has been the only one, really, who we. Oh, what's up, brother? Altuve has been the only one who has stayed. Obviously, right? We give him money.
Well, with him, he chose the team. He took a team friendly deal.
Yes. He's a Houston legend, Astros legend through and through. Like, there's no debate.
The smallest statue ever built, but he's getting a statue down.
But he's getting a statue, right?
Might be a statue, but hey.
but the fact that you look at Bregman, not wanting a team friendly deal, want something like longer term that the owner and the GM don't really want to do. Not paying Kyle Tucker, I thought it was a travesty, right? They say, oh, at least we traded, we actually got something for him. You're talking about like a guy who could be in MVP conversations, right?
Yeah, he's about to secure a $500 million contract pretty soon.
Yeah, which is
not bad.
There's only a handful of teams that can really give him that option. I would hate to see him like in a Yankees uniform or a Dodgers uniform.
So I will, dive face first off Dyken Park roof if that happens.
They already. I heard that the Cubs are already in talks for an extension. So if he stays over there, it wouldn't be the end of the world as far as my fandom for the Astros. But if he goes to like one of those other teams that I mentioned, like it would crush me. It would crush me beyond belief. And then in the past, Correa, We had to let him go. I feel like it was the right call at the end of the day. We won that year. Jeremy Pena came through, but ever since he's been, uh, you know,
Well, from what I've noticed,
developing like we wanted him to.
what I've noticed with all those other guys, like none of them have lived up to their contracts. Springer has been a shell of himself. Correa the same. Time will tell with Bregman because he's a little bit older now. Kyle Tucker, it's a little bit different because he's still in his prime. So
Yeah,
he's
and
got
that's and this the precedent has been set, right? As an Astros fan, we're not gonna pay these guys. So we're talking about Jordan, right?
well, he's locked down for another 2 years. So
Yeah, but what happens after that?
I'm starting to GoFundMe right now.
Right, like do we are we gonna let him walk for nothing? Are we gonna get like a couple of prospects that might be good in a few years if we're lucky, right? Altuve is what, 35? Feels like he's 37. I don't know. Like when Dana came and he said that the window was still open, I actually had like a lot of faith.
Yeah, and now I was like,
And now it's just like, oh yeah, there's really, it doesn't seem to be a plan at all.
I'm gonna be on my third liver by the time this runs. Because it's like, I'm fairly optimistic. Last year when they had the horrible start, I was one of the few people that was positive about, like, like they'll figure it out, man. I was like, wait till like June or July, they'll be back at 500 on top of the AOS, and they were. I'm still fairly confident they can win the AOS.
But that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything to me anymore because
is getting past the ALCS, which is
right because last year I feel like winning the division was more about. I mean, the Astros did figure it out, right? Bregman got hot sometime in March, which carried us for a while, and then the pitching, with the trade for you say Kikuchi.
for the beer price.
Dude, you would think, bro.
Like, look, if it takes El Tiempo Margaritas being $30 for us to keep Jordan, fuck it.
The thing is, like, we're gonna pay those $30, and we're still not gonna keep him. But last year, I feel like it was more like the Rangers, Seattle, the A's, all of them just not being great.
Yeah, they snatched defeat from the jaws of victory.
Yeah, and then yes, we won the division. And then we go again in the series against the Tigers, and we get demolished.
You get dog walked
by the Tigers. So winning the division is I mean it's nothing to me anymore. It's not even the bare minimum anymore.
No, yeah, the bare minimum is the ALCS.
And with this roster that we have
it's
at the moment,
it's gonna be tough.
It's so tough because Altuve has been the only consistent. Jordan, I saw a report, might have been earlier today or yesterday, that among the 25 unluckiest batters so far this season, like what is it, 15 games in? Jordan, Pena, and Diaz, they're all among the unluckiest bats. So I'm sure some of them will pick it up eventually, but on games like the ones that we're watching right now, or Ace, the pitching, it's been awful. Even if Jordan and Pena and Diaz today had 3-hit games,
we still be getting blown out.
It's like what are we doing?
Yeah, did Farmer forget how to throw a baseball? Like bro, like come on.
And I get it, Brandon. I get what you're saying. It is the first month. But it doesn't.
I'm not hitting the panic button just yet.
But no, not at all. The Astros will figure it out, but figuring it out isn't enough anymore. You're looking at a team like the Dodgers. You're looking at the Yankees. You're looking at the Mets, right? All of the guys that were like in the mix last year. You're looking at the Padres, right? The Phillies.
They all got significantly better,
and the Astros just haven't. The Astros, year by year, it feels like they just keep getting worse.
At least on paper. I texted in the group chat yesterday. I think if Isaac Paredes can start getting hot, and if
He has been the last three or so games.
He got out of that slump, and he has 3 home runs in the his last 3 games. Which, hey, if we can keep doing that and start raking in the Crawford boxes, it'll ease the pain of losing Bregman a little bit. But our first baseman, he needs to get it going too, man.
Walker, yeah.
But I think he will. Like I said, he was raking 30 plus home runs the last few seasons, so I think he'll figure it out. It's just new environment. It takes a little bit of gelling.
Yeah.
But I do have a lot of questions for our hitting coach, because if you look at all the Astros that left, they were fairly better hitters with their new teams than they were with the Astros, which begs the question: what the hell is the hitting coach?
Not even sure, man.
Guys,
like obviously Kyle Tucker is still gonna rake no matter what. Bregman is hot and cold, but when he's hot, like he is one of the best in the league.
Yeah, he typically starts the season really slow, but he's off to a hot start in Boston. I'm like, wait a minute.
Might be the weather.
Coincidence with Alex Cora? Coincidence? They brought back Old Faithful. Bang, bang.
Gainer Diaz has been, he had that amazing game a few nights ago with the Grand Slam and everything on a game where we put 14 on the Angels. But I don't need you to do it in the games where we're dominating. I'd much rather win every game by 2 runs than win 1 by 10 and then lose 3.
I just want to see wins.
So it's just a lot of questions, man. Like on the ownership and the direction this team is going to. Altuve is only going to get worse. That's just the way time works. He's only going to get older. He's going to get slower. The power is going to go little by little. And I'm not too sure about his contract, but I think his contract increases every year.
I mean, it's still a team-friendly deal. Even
it was a team-friendly deal because, I think at the beginning it was lower amounts, so there was the idea is oh yeah, we're paying him less right now, so we can build the team to win now, and then we just let 2 of our best hitters walk, right? Yeah, we got Cam Smith for Tucker. And then we got a pitching prospect as well. But Cam Smith, promising athlete, wish him nothing but the best. He's no Kyle Tucker. And if he does become that, it won't be for a while.
Yeah, I mean, best case scenario for him would be having a rookie season similar to Jeremy Pena. Basically came out of nowhere, having to replace, a Gold Glove winner in Korea, and you saw how that worked out. So I'm optimistic about Cam Smith.
In the long term, yes, but the whole point is that we gotta make up our minds. The front office needs to make up their minds and then act like it and let the fans know. Are we trying to win now, or are we trying to retool / rebuild for 5, 6, 7 years time? Well, that's what I need to know.
It doesn't feel like it's kind of like a reach. It's not a complete rebuild, but it is a little bit of a retooling. I think this year is probably an adjustment period as far as
we've been saying that since 2022. I feel like every year has been this is just we're taking a year off type thing. We're still gonna be competitive, but like I said, we just keep getting worse. We just keep losing players. Last year we traded Loperfido, who was a great utility guy. And some other prospects for 3 months, 4 months of Yusei Kikuchi, and then afterwards we wouldn't even sign him back. And he was after he came in, him and Ronel Blanco were our best pitchers.
Yeah,
they carried us into the postseason. They're basically, I would argue, the biggest reason why we won the division last year.
Oh, most definitely. They definitely turned the pitching because Framber was just up and down all season. Mm-hmm. And then all the injuries. You had Javier.
And then with Javier getting injured, Luis Garcia is still not coming back. McCullers. Apparently his rehab is going well, but yeah, he comes back. And then what happens? And then Hunter Brown, we say every year, oh, this is a year where he needs to make it or break it. This is where he takes the step. He'll have a few great quality starts, and then he'll have a handful of really bad ones. I understand every pitcher goes through this, but Framber is getting older, right? He's gonna demand more money. I think this might be the last year of his current contract.
Yeah, he's a free agent. I don't see them resigning him.
I don't see him resigning either. So, like, are you going to spend money on another big free agent, or are you going to depend on Hunter Brown and Christian Javier to carry the load moving forward? Lance McCullers, if they can stay healthy. Like, I feel like I've been saying, like, I feel like every year we're just getting worse. I understand that maybe we don't want to pay the money, but then you have to commit to trading somebody when they're hot. With the whole Kyle Tucker situation, they were saying Dana told us several times, we're working on a deal. I'm confident that he'll resign. That's what he told us. That's what he kept telling us. All of a sudden, going to the Cubs for 2 prospects. Why can't you just let us know? Like, oh, the plan is trade Tucker in the middle of the season. Just do that while he's hot and get as much as you possibly can. If you know you're not going to resign him. The whole Bregman situation was a lot of it on Bregman's shoulders.
Yeah.
I feel like he tried to hardball the Astros a little bit too much. A lot of fans found that distasteful. I get it. I wasn't a fan of it, but I get it. And I still wish him the best, even though he's in Boston,
Yeah,
Boston.
I mean, it's generational wealth. Like, I would never, harbor, any ill will for someone that wants to secure, their
fuck Eric Cole. Fuck him.
No, he doesn't get a pass.
He doesn't get a pass. You don't go to the Yankees. I'm sorry.
I guess it's one of those things that just wait and see. I know you say you feel like they've gotten worse year by year, but I mean, they're still the best team in the AL West. It's just they need to really figure this shit out in October, because especially at home, I don't fucking understand how you consistently lose at home every goddamn playoff.
I know. Every time they get a free agent, they're like, "Oh, they're gonna love the Crawford boxes, man. Oh, Mancini, he's gonna love the Crawford boxes." And then they won't hit shit for months.
Like I said, abusive relationship.
Like, at this point, shit, let's just redesign the stadium, put the Crawford boxes 20 feet in a little bit more. Fuck it. Let's have the smallest stadium in MLB.
Being a Houston sports fan is like an Ike and Tina relationship, man.
It's ridiculous, brother. It's ridiculous. It's 7-0. So,
I don't even like baseball that much anyway.
Let me go change real quick.
Just like I hate college basketball. It's stupid sport.
So let's move into that. Let's move into that from one really shitty topic
to an even shittier topic.
To another one. And I know we're late to the party. We took last week off because we wanted to watch the game and everything. And what a game it was! What a game it was! And I'm sorry, I want to take a page out of your book, Rios, but I called it. I called it. Like, I know I didn't talk about it too much on here, but with all my friends at work and everything, who all of us have been really locked in March Madness, especially with the Houston run, I knew exactly how they were going to lose that game, and that's exactly what happened. But I'm going to let you take the floor on this one, because I know you're more of a diehard fan than I am.
Well, let me start off by saying you can choke on the fattest of wieners, sir.
Love that.
Oh, it's just for some reason they just cannot get over that hump. And I've been, I'm an alumni. I went to school there. I've been watching them for decades, and it's like, especially these last few years of Coach Sampson, like they are like on the precipice of greatness, and then they choke every single time. I'm like, abusive relationship part 2. Like,
this has been the best and more fun Houston team to watch in the last few years.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I feel like you said, they haven't been able to get over the hump. They come close-ish, right? They go on these incredible runs, but it was always the scoring droughts that really
every single game.
Yeah, like shed the bed for them. Going back to what I was saying,
and they happen at the worst times.
Yes. So, and I was talking to my friends about it. throughout the tournament, right? And the game against Gonzaga, they had the lead last few minutes of the games, right? A comfortable lead. And then they just let Gonzaga get back into the game, and they barely managed to get away with a victory, right? It was a one possession game, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
Then the game against Purdue, same deal. The last few minutes, comfortable lead, and I just don't know what happens. I don't think it's down to the coaching. I think the players get too much in their head, and they managed
they settle for jumpers too much. Like especially this last game against Florida, because I was watching it with my brother and another friend of mine, and I was like, if Florida was in foul trouble early on, that's when you get aggressive and you attack the basket.
And
they kept settling for jumpers, and they were getting good looks, and little by little, Florida chipped away at that lead, and then they made Houston play their game. Their game is run and gun. Houston is a half-court offense, half-court defense. They were never able to get set because they were always on the fast break, and it just threw them out of their rhythm, and it's just snowballed into me hating myself after the game.
Well, the game against Purdue, same thing happened, right? They let them into the game. They managed to get away with like a crazy inbound play. Yeah, no, they keep choking. They keep choking 1,000%. And then on this game, the defense in the first half was fantastic. The offense was very, very solid. Florida played one hell of a game. Yes, they wanted to foul trouble early, and I think, and I don't want to blame the refs too much because there were a lot of calls.
It was bad on
both teams. Yeah, on both sides. It was heavily.
The first half they let them play. In the second half, they called every little ticky tack call.
Well, on the first half, like they were also like, I feel like they were calling more than usual. Second half, they just got out of hand.
Yeah.
The way how Houston got 3 fouls in 9 seconds of play, like, brother, what are we doing?
Christ, this is college basketball.
What are we doing? Like, they're not getting like superstar whistles. Like, what is this, right? But this is just college kids. Let them play. Going into the game, I knew Florida had the size. Houston, the defense, right? It was going to come down to who wanted it more. And again, going into the I keep wanting to say fourth quarter. Going into the last few minutes, Houston with a comfortable lead. I think it was like 13, 14 points at one point. 12. And then, dude, and it happened in the slowest part, like
way possible. Is how
dude, like time slowed down. Florida kept getting every single bucket, every single rebound. Every time Houston would force a turnover, like you said, settle for a contested jumper that wasn't falling, or even if you went to attack the basket, Florida was playing so well on the defensive side of the ball in the last few minutes, blocking every single shot, crashing the glass like crazy.
I mean, at the end of the day, they wanted it more.
They wanted it more.
That's not even the worst part. The worst part is how it ended.
Couldn't even get a shot off.
Fucking shot, just one.
Couldn't even get a shot off.
I'm like, I just sat there. I'm like, you can't be serious. Not like this.
I feel like leading up to it, just turning the ball over the way they were doing it unnecessarily. I thought it was like heartbreaking, and Maribel brings up a good point. The Duke game. In the Duke game, Duke honestly should have won that game. And Houston forced them to make the mistakes. And they made
Duke play their game. Basically, Florida did what Houston did to Duke. They made them play their game.
Yeah, 1,000%. But it's like Houston didn't learn from that. They didn't learn from the Gonzaga game. They didn't learn from the Purdue game. Like the best teams go into a game, and whether they win or lose, they get something out of it. And I feel like Houston kept on winning, not understanding how it happened. They were just like, oh, defense is just going to carry us. And CJ Cryer is just going to hit all the threes, right? And it just wasn't happening. In the first half, the defense was great. They kept their number one guy to 0 points.
Yeah. And then
And
he catches
on the
yeah,
second
5.
half, I think he finished the game with like 11 points, which basically that was the difference, right? Going into the last few minutes, it was like 12 points. He basically brought him back, and we just couldn't do anything to stop it. Whether it was a lapse of concentration, like I said, I don't think it's down to the coach. I think the coach did a fantastic job with this team, right? None of them certified superstars, but
At all.
as a team cohesion, it was fantastic. The defense, the well organized offense to an extent. Even the bigs who don't have like the biggest size, they were holding their own defensively and offensively.
Yeah, I mean, our bigs are basically tweeners in the NBA. They're 6'8" guys with long wingspans, which is great, in college. But it's like once you can go against like a true center, it's a little bit more difficult to play defense and offense.
Yeah.
I think if they would have been able to establish a post game or at least attack the basket more frequently, at least put some pressure on the Florida's defense to like, hey, these guys are scoring options on here, but no, they basically would kick it out and shoot these long twos or these contested threes that just were not falling.
Yeah, and like she says right here, I think they just got too comfortable with the lead.
Yeah,
right.
They did absolutely,
And that's exactly what happened in previous games. They just got too comfortable, let the other team get into the game, and they got lucky to get the wins against those other teams. But you're going against another number 1 seed. They should have lost against Duke, honestly. Duke had their number going into the final few minutes. They should have lost against Duke, and going against Florida, they just collapse. And I don't think this Houston team goes this far again for a while.
Actually, no, they got a bunch of 4- and 5-star recruits. This team is built for now and the future.
Yeah, but so are all the other teams getting better. I mean, yeah, Duke is probably losing Cooper Flag, but I mean, crazier things have happened. What if he comes back? You never know.
Well, we'll see, but no, Houston.
Watch him get drafted by the Wizards, and he's like, "Nah, I'm not doing that."
Because I think for the Cougars, they're only going to lose Cryer. He's probably going to declare for the draft. I think their others, Juwan Howard, he's going to be on because he's in the 6th year, so he's graduating.
Yeah, they're like, no, we can't keep putting you in here, bro.
And I think other than that, the only question mark really is Milos Uzan. They're not sure if he's going to declare for the draft or stay.
I think he will stay.
I would stay another year with Coach Sam.
I think he will stay.
Yeah.
There's something about him that I feel like he's a way better college player than he would fare in the NBA. I think he's still really good, though.
At least right now.
Yeah.
I think another season of development with Coach Sampson will definitely help take his game to the next level.
Yeah.
Because you saw towards the end of the regular season and in the tournament. He turned it on when he needed to, but he also disappeared at times.
Yeah, I mean, when Cryer wasn't his regular self, he would take the load, right? He would play make, he would score the ball, attack the basket like crazy. But I don't know, man. This Houston team, I feel like this was their chance because, like we said, they haven't been able to get over the hump for some years now. I feel like this was their chance to finally get one under Coach Sampson.
The window's not closed because, like I said, they have a lot of 4- and 5-star recruits. A lot. Like they have the second best, recruiting class for this upcoming season. They're ranked number 1, in ESPN for teams next year.
Yeah, and I honestly think that they could comfortably win the Big 12 again. I feel like they're made for that. But when it comes to March, bro, anything can happen. Like I said, they easily could have lost any of the games leading up to the final.
I think for this upcoming season for them, they got to figure out who's our closer. Because Cryer's leaving, he's going to the draft.
Yeah,
who's going to be the man that's going to give you a bucket at the end when you really need it, when you need to put some points on the board? Like who's going to be that guy? That remains to be seen with all the guys that are leaving.
Yeah,
maybe Uzan could be that guy. We'll see.
We'll see. We'll have to see.
Master Peace on the team.
What do you think? Where do you think Cryer would go if he once he goes?
Man.
Where would he be a good fit?
I think he'd be a good role player on a number of teams. As far as being a starter, I don't really see.
I don't see him being a starter anywhere, to be honest.
But I think a lot of teams could use a guy like him to come off the bench, give you
like a little microwave. Like I can definitely see it in a team like Atlanta. coming off the bench.
Yeah, there's a number of teams that can use a guy like him to, give you some scoring off the bench, scoring and playmaking, and just not afraid to take the big shot.
And he's not, and we know he's not. I wish he would have taken the last shot. Fucking that fucking game. It would have been a little bit better if he takes it and misses than whatever the fuck they. I don't even know what kind of fucking play they were trying to run with that last possession.
I mean, I get the thought process because Sharp was, he was playing lights out towards the end, but I don't know. In situations like that, I would have went with Cryer.
I feel like they were going to try to go for the 3.
Yeah, they were going for the win.
Yeah, I wouldn't have gone for the win.
Yeah,
I feel like that game where you collapse like that.
You gotta take the easy buckets. You can't.
You have to take the easy buckets. I feel like you throw it to your big and the paint, and then just try to get the layup.
If or anything, just run a pick and roll and have someone slash the basket. Worst case, you get fouled, you get 2 free throws.
Yeah, worst case. That was the other thing. They could have hit fucking free throws to save their fucking lives. If they would have made half the free throws they missed, they would have won. They would have won that game.
Who needs therapy? We can just do this every week.
But yeah, it was a heartbreak for Houston. Hopefully they come back next year stronger.
They will.
And well, let's hope so. Let's hope so.
Well, there's no hope. It's a foregone conclusion.
Okay. Cut to us a year from now.
When you see me, in the parade with the players, the champagne bottles, I don't want to hear shit.
Who's this old man, bro? How you get on the bus?
Oh man, I could pass for a student.
Bullshit. Keeping basketball. Let's talk about the Rockets. Now you got a hat for every team. All right, let's talk about fucking Houston Dynamo. You got him? You got him?
I don't have a hat over here.
Yeah, fuck you. All right, let's talk about the Rockets.
I called 50 wins at the beginning of the season, and they beat me by 2.
They did it. Second seed in the West. It's no small feat.
At all.
It's.
And they're the only team to beat the Cavaliers and OKC twice. And Boston.
Yeah, and Boston too. I feel like a lot of like the UH team. It's this team like built on defense with great players that are able to command the game offensively. Jalen Green has been fantastic. You can say all you want about his lack of defense. I feel like he has brought in a lot more this year, and I mean he's still like a small guard, but he puts his effort on it, right? He's not an all-out defender, but he will contest, and if he can give you 30 points a game, 27 points a game, you can give a little bit of a pass. Sengun, all-star. If he would have finished the year a little bit stronger, could definitely be an All-NBA. I feel like the team it works around them so well. Amen Thompson, who is not going to get any love for Defensive Player of the Year, but he should. Honestly,
he's locking down every team's best player.
Especially like the second half of the year, he's been fantastic.
As an emerging superstar.
Yes, and offensively, he's been getting better. He's getting assists. He might be.
If he can develop a jumper, he's going to be a top 5 player.
Yeah, I mean, we've been saying that about Giannis for a decade now. But
I mean, Giannis is a 7-footer.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. But if Giannis could get a jumper, man, be better than LeBron, better than Shaq, better than everybody.
I never said that.
Fred has been.
He's been a good mentor for these young kids. He's been a really great mentor for these young kids.
And Ime Udoka has been, I feel like, the most integral part of this whole Houston rebuild after Harden era.
Coaching matters. We've seen it with all the Houston teams. Look at UH before Coach Sampson. They were fucking hot dog water. And now look at them. Perennial top 4, Final 4 team every year.
Yeah, and before we talk about playoffs, you and I were talking about it before we went live. The draft is in It's in 10 days, a week and a half, and Houston have the Phoenix pick,
Thank you, Phoenix.
which right now will land them around the probably number 8, number 9 pick, but it could jump up. I keep simming the lottery odds right here, and Houston normally lingers around like the middle of the lottery, but there is a world where they move up to the top 3, hell, even top 1 pick.
Yeah, they got a 17% odds of getting a top 4 pick, and I mean it's a slim, minuscule chance at 1.3, but it's 3.1, excuse me, but it's still better than 0.
We've seen it happen, right? We've seen crazier things happen, but I would love for Houston to get another top pick. Whether they use it to draft somebody, maybe like a future point guard, not too sure, or they use it to like maybe package some type of deal, get another superstar in. I feel like this Houston team is built for the future more so than the now. But bro, I'd be lying if I told you I wasn't excited about this playoffs coming up.
I mean, they've gone toe to toe with the best teams in the league, and they've come out on top more often than not. I tell people like if this team get hot in late April, early May, they will be a dangerous team come postseason. They might be a dark horse for the Western Conference Finals.
I feel like the biggest knock that people have on this team is that they're so young.
Yeah,
they're not battle tested.
They're similar to the Thunder last year. They weren't tested, and it showed. Like the inexperience showed up a lot on tape when they played for the Thunder. That is, last playoffs, and that's my only concern with this Houston team. But I think the difference between them and the Rockets of now is the coach. I think that
you think so? So I feel like the difference between the biggest difference, the biggest X factor between the OKC and the Houston team is that OKC has an MVP in their squad, a bona fide closer, a bona fide bucket, who will get you in foul trouble, give you 40, and that's just him, right? Houston doesn't have that.
They've contained Shy every single time they played him. Shay, whatever.
Hey, whatever. Shy, Muay Thai, Rockets in 5.
Well done, well done. Damian Thompson has locked that man down. He's threw away the key.
Yeah, but the playoffs are a different beast, right?
Yeah.
This team is young. None of them have ever been in a situation like this.
Appreciate you, man.
H-Town, baby. The lights might be a little too bright for some of these guys.
That's
the biggest fear that I have. Yes,
Ime
has done it before, right? He took Boston to the finals.
With a younger squad, really.
A younger squad, like with his defensive philosophy and being efficient in causing turnovers and scoring points from those turnovers. And it has worked well in the regular season and a stacked Western Conference, right? Where you got the Nuggets with another MVP on their hands, Jokic, right? With not the best roster they've had, but still Jokic is still walking triple-double every single night.
A top 3 player in the league.
You got the a little bit of a revival from the Golden State Warriors, with a DPOY contender in Draymond Green. Steph Curry, still one of the best players in the league, best shooter of all time. Jimmy Butler, after the trade, who has revitalized the whole team as a whole, and you still got the young players in Kuminga, AirPods, and all that. And they have like a lot of experience. Jimmy took the Heat to the finals, a team that had no business going to the finals twice, right? And then you got the Golden State Warriors, who are a dynasty on their own. And then you got the team like the Clippers, which Kawhi has been like the Kawhi of old. The last,
he just needed 55 games to rest.
Sometimes that's all you need, bro. That's what I keep telling my bosses. You want me to perform at 100%? You give me 55 days of rest, and I will give you 3 months of nonstop productivity.
That motherfucker was in the hyperbolic time chamber,
bro, for real. And then James Harden, he's not the give you 40 every night.
he'll give you an efficient efficient 28, 29, 12 rebounds, and
with
12
10 assists. Subac looking like a monster out there. And then you got the Grizzlies with John Moran like getting back to his old self.
Yeah, with
Questionable celebrations, but
yeah,
that aside,
grenades, missile launchers,
that
RPG.
aside, he's still going to give you buckets,
I
right?
do
And he
think
still
the
has a
Bulls
really
will
good team around him as well.
Yeah. I mean, this Western Conference is stacked. I mean, the Western Conference by itself could be the entire playoff picture because the East is absolute dog.
The East is just the Cavs and
Oh,
the Celtics.
it's just Boston and Cleveland. That's it. No offense if you're a fan of those other teams in the East, but they have
or be offended. We really don't care.
zero chance.
Yeah.
Anyone but Boston or Cleveland's going to be in the NBA Finals.
The only other team that I can see in the East making a little bit of a run, kind of like they did last year, will be the Pacers. I feel like the Pacers are a really good squad. They're very versatile defensively, and Tyrese has been a lot better on the second half of the year. But
I think for me, a dark horse in the East could possibly be the Knicks, but I mean that's like really, really dark horse. I mean,
that Jalen would have to really turn it up, and we've seen that in the playoffs. He has been that guy for them, and Cat really needs to step it up as well. But I feel like that the defense needs to improve a little bit for them to compete with the likes of Boston and the Cavaliers. But I can definitely see them maybe making a little bit of a run for them. But like you said, I feel like the winner, like I feel like this title is gonna come through the Western Conference.
Yeah.
Boston, I feel like has a good chance to make it a back-to-back, but I feel like depending on the matchup, who they get in the final is gonna dictate everything. I feel like if Boston sees OKC, I will love that kind of final just to see the matchups on there.
Yeah, as a basketball fan, you will love it. From a rating standpoint, I'm sure Adam Silver is just
like if Adam Silver could have it his way, it will be LeBron and Luka, which I didn't even touch on. Like the Lakers are still there. LeBron, year 45, he's still what's the average? Like 20, 25, 8 and 8.
No, he averaged less than 20. I think it was like 22 or 23. Still, I mean, it's not
still
impressive nonetheless.
Still impressive at 62 years old. And then Luka Doncic, he's just that guy. So the Western Conference is stacked, man. And as a Rockets fan, right, we're the most inexperienced team out there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Even the Grizzlies have seen a little bit more of
playoffs.
And then the Timberwolves. I didn't even touch on the Timberwolves.
Well, yeah. So basically, it's going to be Houston's going to play either the Timberwolves or the Warriors, just depending who wins that play-in game. Which is,
who would you rather see? I was having an argument with a friend at work about who I feel like I would rather see the Timberwolves personally. I feel like
from a revenge standpoint, I want the Warriors. I want them to get over.
I do not want the Warriors, man. I'm having too many nightmares still, man. The PTSD is crazy. 27 missed threes, brother.
I need another beer.
Chris Paul injury, man. Like it's just I just like they have the experience on the Rockets like by a tenfold. It's ridiculous. And now they have Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, as far as the matchup, yeah, it's probably the tougher between them and the Timberwolves. But at the same time, if they can defeat that demon of their past and get past the Warriors, I think that goes a long way for the franchise.
What would you deem a success for this Rockets team right now? The bare minimum for it to be a success.
Get out of the first round.
They got out of the first round? What if they get swept in the second round? Would that still be a success for you?
Yeah, because most people didn't have them winning, more than 42 games this year. And the fact they won 52 and are a number 2 seed in the West, and the teams that they've beaten and the way they've beaten them, it goes a long way. So if they lose in the second round, you could still call the season a success. It was never, championship or bust from the get-go. But if they get past the second round, I'm going to be a menace online.
Bro, you're always a fucking menace, bro.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a game of matchups, dude. I'd much rather see the Timberwolves. Ant is a bona fide superstar, but I feel like that team still has
They got a
holes.
lot of question marks.
Yeah, and then the Warriors, like I said, they just have they've just been there before. They have the experience, something that the Rockets don't have. If this goes to like a game 7, I would put all my money on the Warriors taking it. Right.
I really hope you choke on a hot dog.
I'm just trying to be realistic, man. I'm just trying to be realistic. We can be hopeful all we want. That's not going to change anything. I try to look at it as objectively realistic as I possibly can. Right. And if I'm wrong at the end of the day, shit, I'm happy either way. You know what I'm saying?
Objectively, you can kiss my ass.
Objectively, te mamas un huevo tú, entonces, no, chica.
Where's they say people?
But I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I feel like the Rockets make it out of the first round. And then after that, anything would be a victory, to be honest.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Like as long as we don't get swept. I feel like if we get swept, I feel like
it wouldn't be the end of the world. Well, in the second.
Well,
round,
I feel like the front office might panic, and that's my biggest thing, right? I hate when young teams are in the cusp of something, and then the front office they just blow it up for no reason, right? Like you look at the reason why OKC is so successful right now is because they've been a young team, but they haven't blown it up. They let these guys play on and grow together, right? And that's what they're like number 1 seed in the West. And then you see things like the Lakers in the past where they just blew it up. Yeah, it worked in their favor because they landed LeBron and all that good stuff. But not every team is gonna land like LeBron James, right? An Anthony Davis type thing. You look at Utah; they blew it up, and where are they now? It's time for bed. Shut the hell up, Alex. Also, it's 8-0, by the way.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Don't tell me the score.
It's okay. Chas McCormick about to score 10 runs by himself.
Yeah, sure. No, but like Utah's a rudder of the ship. And, in our earlier episodes, I was a big advocate of them not making any moves at the deadline because you want to see how far this young core can take you. Because like you mentioned, like, OKC, they had chances to blow it up with all their draft picks and all their young players, but they stay pat. Like, you know what? Let's trust the process. Let's let these guys develop and let them go to battle together and see how they face adversity. And facing that adversity has made OKC a better team. That's why they're the number 1 seed. I mean, they won 65 games. We haven't seen that since the Rockets like 7 years ago.
Yeah. Man, I miss those days. Man. Talk all the shit.
You could feel good knowing you could turn on the TV and Harden have a 30-point triple-double.
Yeah, they'll be like, oh, he was spotted at a nightclub the night before at 4 a.m. or whatever, and he will still give 40 to your favorite player, bro.
Those were the days.
Those were the days, man.
And now half the team it's not even old enough to go to a 21 and up club.
Which is crazy.
Like most of the guys on the roster are like 23 and below. Outside of Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet, everyone's 23 and under.
I gotta say that I love this Jalen Green arc that he's going through right now. Like with all the doubters, with
years.
Yeah, like I was one of them. Like, and to an extent, I still am. Right, like I've rooted for him the whole time. But to an extent, like the defense still somewhat questionable, and sometimes he can disappear in games.
That's the thing with him is just the consistency because previous years he was a non-factor from October until the All-Star break.
Yeah.
But after the All-Star break, this man turned into Kobe Bryant. Like, bro, what's my here? Like, do this.
My biggest thing with him is that he won shy away from a contested shot. And like some people in the league, they're like contested, like really hard shot makers, like really bad shot makers, but they make them. Like he's a bad shot taker, who sometimes makes them.
My only complaint about his game is just I really wish he would drop to the basket a lot more and get better at shooting free throws.
He's just not that strong though. He's fast. he can get a step on almost anybody in the league, but he's not that strong. So if you're going against a team with like a Gobert or like a Subac or someone who's big in the paint, like he might not shy away from it, but that's how you get injured. You know, that's
Well,
look at Derrick Rose, look at Russell Westbrook. That's how.
I mean, he's durable. He hasn't missed a game in what?
Yeah, I mean 82 games. 82 games, but like you said, it's maybe because he doesn't drive to the basket all that much. He loves a long two for some reason.
He's one of the few in this modern NBA that does. But hey, you know what? If he can hit him more consistently, I'll be okay with it. But that's just part of a game that he needs to develop. Again, he's what, 23, 24? Like he hasn't hit his physical prime yet. Like
I still hate that most of the trade talks that continue to happen with this Houston roster being so young as they are. And the picks that they do have. I hate that they keep involving him on it, because I would love nothing more as a Rockets fan than to see Jalen and Sengun lift the Larry O'Brien.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, nothing more. It's like a Kobe and Powell type vibe. I would hate for one of them to go for us to do that. I would only let one of those guys walk if it would guarantee, bro. If it would guarantee it, which you can in this league.
No, the only thing is guaranteed in life are death and taxes.
And that, you know, the Lakers are somehow going to fucking land a superstar once Luka retires, bro.
And the Cowboys will be home in January.
Yeah, man, fuck Dallas.
No, but I think because especially with Sengun and Jalen Green, because those are basically the first two, building blocks in this rebuild after James Harden. Because after Harden got traded, Jesus Christ, that team was so hard to watch. I'm like, why am I doing this to myself? Like our best player is Victor Oladipo. Kill me,
dude. The Victor Oladipo days, that was crazy.
Oladipo, Christian Wood,
John Wall. Oh man, Christian Wood was crazy.
And it sucked because they had the cleanest uniforms in the league, and they were just absolute dog water.
They were so dog water, bro. They were so dog water.
Oh man,
I remember when we got John Wall and Christian Wood, and I was like, "Oh, them two, like John Wall with Harden, like he's not gonna have to drive to the basket as much. He can make a little bit more, but still be athletic." And Christian Wood, Harden could make any big look amazing. So I was like, "Oh,
he made him look
this team is gonna be dangerous." And then fucking he shows up with a fat suit. And I'm just like, it's over.
I think look like a black Carlos.
Fuck it over. I'm done. I'm so done. Speaking of Carlos, hi Carlos. Fuck you.
Piece of shit.
You think he's watching?
I'm sure he is. He's lurking in the background like a
Carlos, if you're watching, let us know in the next 10 seconds. If you're not, I will drive to your house.
I mean, he's probably double fisting churros right now.
Churros. But yeah, man, excited for the playoffs. We'll see how things turn out.
Hopefully, they play on a day I'm able to go. Hopefully, on a Sunday.
I was looking at some of the tickets, and they're expensive.
Yeah, I'm going to start selling feed pictures or something.
A friend of mine was talking about going. A friend from work. But it's like the tickets he was looking at is like $250 a person. You're probably like $300 with taxes and fees and everything. Plus, you got to pay for parking unless you Uber there. But if you Uber there, you're stuck there.
That's what you do paying for. Finance those tickets.
Fucking finance and shit. Just take out a loan to watch your team lose in the second round.
Hey. It's part of the process.
It's part of the process.
Being a Houston fan is the most abusive relationship you will ever be in. Unless they hit you with a car, then that's next level. But
yeah, I guess Carlos ain't watching. Fuck you, Carlos.
Piece of shit.
Yep. All right. I think we're gonna end it there. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for leaving comments.
Predictions for the playoffs.
First round. Like as far as what? As far as the Rockets, or like who's gonna make it out?
No, as far as the Rockets and their first round opponent. Who do you think it is, and how do you think that series ends?
I'm gonna predict because I hate the Warriors. I'm gonna predict that they're gonna lose, and that we're gonna play the Timberwolves.
Okay.
And I think we're gonna beat the Timberwolves on like 6 games. I think that every single game is gonna be very competitive, but I think we're gonna pull it out. And then on the second round, who are we looking at? We're looking probably like Clippers or Nuggets.
Second
I need,
round.
to look, I need to look at the bracket again. But I feel like whoever we face in the second round, I feel like that's gonna be like where we're gonna struggle the most.
No, if it's the Nuggets, I like the matchups. They match up pretty well. It's really going to come down to the game plan.
I don't like the
As
matchup
good
against
as
the
Joker
Nuggets. I
is,
don't like the matchup against the Clippers. I do not like the
yeah,
matchup
Clippers. I
against.
don't like that matchup at all.
Yeah, I think the second round exit for the Rockets would be. I would be content with that.
Yeah.
Anything past that, even if we take the second round to 7 games, I'll be static with it.
Like I said, if they make the Western Conference Finals, I'm gonna be a feral animal online.
But I'm excited for it. But I feel like if I had to put my money on anybody coming out of the West, probably the smart money would be on OKC. But I'm gonna say it's gonna be the Nuggets again.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. No, so for me, I'm going to the opposite route. I think the Warriors beat the Timberwolves, and I'm going to go with the Rockets, gentlemen sweeping the Warriors, erasing that demon from the past that's been haunting them for years. Getting past that is going to, feed families.
He's going to feed generations.
It'll ease some of the mental trauma.
It's going to change the economy, bro.
Be back, baby. No, it'll definitely go a long way, just from a morale standpoint. The one team they could never get past was the Warriors. If they can finally get past them, that's going to go a long way. Maybe not this group itself, but the franchise and the fan base. For them to experience the joy of beating the Warriors in the playoffs,
dude.
I mean, the season's over at that point.
Oh, you're getting me hyped, bro. You're getting me hyped now.
I mean, the Rocks need to hire me as the hype man. I'll get the people going.
Do you think we make it out of the second round? Realistically?
Realistically, I think it really depends on the matchup. If it's the Clippers, I don't like that matchup at all, just because it's Harden. Yeah. It's going to be basically what version of Harden you get, and if Kawhi is healthy, because that's always a question mark.
I mean, if Kawhi can stay healthy and they play the way they've been playing, I could definitely see this Clippers team going to the conference finals.
Yeah, if it's the Rockets and Clippers in the second round, it could go 7 games. I mean, Houston's really going to have to figure out how to stop Kawhi.
Yeah. And Amen can do his best attempt at it, but if he see Kawhi at the playoffs, man, when he's healthy, he's one of the top 3 guys in this league.
I mean, just picture Kawhi with the Raptors. I mean, he took that team to the finals.
And they won it.
Won it against
the Warriors. The Warriors were hurt, but still.
Hey, what's going on, Albert?
We play the winner of Lakers Timberwolves. The Lakers. I would love perfect scenario. We beat the Warriors. We play the Lakers. We beat the Lakers.
And what helps is Houston will have home court advantage.
Yeah, and then I would just OD somewhere.
And have home court advantage throughout the playoffs, because that whistle in LA is so different than a whistle in every other arena.
Yeah.
The Lakers have taken, almost double the free throws than their opponents every single home game. It is ridiculous, the whistle they get in LA.
We don't really have an answer for both Braun and Luka, right? Because even if you put Dylan Brooks on Braun, I feel like Braun cooks him all day. And if you put Amen on Luka, yes, he can probably hold his own for the most part. And then they don't really have an answer for like Sengun out there.
Or Jalen. I think,
but then like Austin Reeves can give you 30.
Yeah, I think that matchup is really going to come down more so to the bench than the starters.
Yeah,
because the starters, they kind of cancel each other out.
Jabari, I keep forgetting about Jabari. Jabari's
an X factor on the bench. If he can give you like 20 and 10 off the bench, they're going to be tough to beat, because the Lakers
he might even start. He might even start. They might do,
because with the Lakers, they don't have that depth. Like, if you can shut down one of Luka or LeBron, I mean, I can live with Austin Reeves getting 30 points if everyone else is struggling to score points.
Yeah, but I mean, it's Luka
Austin
carried a
Reeves-
mediocre team to the Western Conference Finals for years, and then they got Kyrie, and then they took him to the finals. Like Luka can take any team far, so I can never count him out.
Yeah, I think in that matchup, it's really if you shut down Luka, that gives you the best chance of winning. Because
yeah, definitely. But it's like
it's
one of those. It was one of the biggest what ifs. It's one of the biggest what ifs you can possibly have in this league. But we're gonna cut it there. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you Rios for coming down. Thank you Carlos for fucking off.
Yeah, seriously. Take more weeks off. We don't need you.
We'll be back next week. Getting closer to the draft, playoffs, NFL draft.
Yeah, we should have a prospect for next week.
We should have somebody, and then I can't wait for. Are we gonna live stream the draft this year? I feel like we should.
Which draft? The NBA or the NFL?
The NFL. I honestly think that the Rockets might trade their pick, but the NFL. I'm very excited for the Texans. See what the moves they're gonna make and how this team's gonna look into the next season. But we'll talk about it next week, and the weeks coming through. We've already been going for an hour. Thank you, everybody. Rios, any last words?
Astros. I think I'm deserved.
Astros.
All the trauma you have put me through these last 8 years. A little, it's a Specs gift card. I can live with that.
If it makes you feel any better, it's still just 8-0.
Oh, just 8. Okay. No, take back the gift card. I want unlimited El Tiempos. That's it. That's all
Shit, I'll take some free wings. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Muchísimas gracias. Y si necesita reggaetón, dale.
Southwest A-League, Texas, throw down here and it's so infectious. We ride for the Houston Astros, Rockets, Dynamo, and them Texans. If you ain't never been down here, well, rule number 1, you gon' respect us. Just fans in my speakers, new one drop, they bout to bless us. I might right through the SWAT, playing just fans right through your spot. Look, and I don't know what you thought, but right here, dog, we gon' rep the squad. Got HU, I might fit it, then on my jersey, you gon' know when.